أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين اللهم يسر ولا تعسر رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. In our previous lesson, we stopped on the 6 qualities or attributes that a person who wants to seek knowledge is expected to have. We spoke about ذكاء وحرص واستبار وبلغة وإرشاد الأستاذ وطول الزمان. Now we're going to look at اختيار الشريك. When you are studying, you need to get a companion. How do you select a companion in this journey? وأما اختيار الشريك فينبغي أن يختار المجد والورع وصاحب الطبع. When you are looking for someone that you're gonna take as a companion when it comes to seeking knowledge, you need someone that is mujid, someone that is hard worker, someone who is always wanting to learn. And then wal-wara', someone that is religious. Wasahibu tab' and also someone with good character. So if you are in this state, you said, I really want to study. A person that you can take to be a companion in this journey should have these qualities. You don't want to take someone that will pull you back. You want someone that will encourage you to go. And also that person should have what we call al-fattan. Al-fattan, or no, astaghfirullah, and then al-mustaqim, and then someone who is also on the right path, always standing on the right path, always. Not only standing on the right path, but also someone who is understanding. He knows what he's doing. All right? وَيَفِرُّ مِنَ الْكَسْلَانِ. You should stay away from a lazy person. A lazy person, that is kaslan. Stay away from someone who is lazy. وَالْمُعَطِّلِ. Mu'attil, someone who is negligent, someone who does not put interest in what he's doing. وَالْمِكْثَارِ. Stay away from someone who is talkative, someone who talks too much. Such a person will always put you in trouble and also always create, because the person who talks too much end up lying a lot. Because if you talk too much, you become a liar. Because when there's nothing to say, you have to make up things to talk about. The same thing applies to stay away from someone who is al-mufsid. Al-mufsid, someone who is corrupt. Someone who is corrupt, because knowledge does not go with filth, with dirt. If you are always corrupted, the knowledge will not go in. Wal-fattan, and also troublemaker. All these attributes, if a person has it, stay away from such a person if you want to have a companion in your studies. قال الشاعر, the poet say, عن المرء لا تسأل وأبصر قرينه. To talk about a person, do not, if you want to inquire about a person, they said, don't ask, my friend, what are your qualities, what are your attributes? Bas absir qarina. Look at the person's companion, look at the person's friend. Okay? You know the English have birds of the same feathers will do what? So you can, the reason why you can see, you know, Maurice and Zakaria always together, because they watch Netflix together. You see, so you don't ask person about, if you don't ask a person about his character, but look at his companion, look at his qarin. فَكُلُّ قَرِينٍ بِالْمُقَارَنَةِ يَقْتَدِي. Because every person will go in good way with the one that have some same character as him. So when you see people together, they said when you get a guest in your house, don't ask, what are your characters? Let him go out. The first person you see him with, check that person will be the same character. And it's amazing. I remember I was walking with a guest of ours in the house. He's a smoker. Okay? No one smokes in the house. So we went out. Straight away from far, he was able to detect a smoker like him. Not because the person was smoking, just he wanted a lighter. Wallah, he was able to detect from just passing. The person was not smoking. He just, hey, do you have a light? He said, yes. And then he came, how did you know? You know, that's how simple, and people of the same caliber will always go together. So that's why when you are learning or anything that you want to do, not even learning, in any affairs that you want to indulge in, check the person that has qualities of that. Don't take someone who will rather break your energy and effort in that. فإن كان ذا شر فإن كان ذا شر فجانبه سرعة. If you get a person who is also in the same journey with you, but you saw the person has bad character, stay away from that person straight away. وإن كان ذا خير, if the person has some good, then فقارنه تهتدي, then get closer to that person, you will be guided. So it is very important to acknowledge that. And another, this thing also said, لا تسحب الكسلان في حالته. Do not take a lazy person to be a companion in his affairs. Someone who is a lazy person, do not take the person as a companion. كم صالح بفساد آخر يفسد. Because most often you see a good person, because of a bad friend, then he also becomes bad. So you have to be very careful with those that you take as friends. Adwa al-balid ila al-jalid sari'atan. And also he spoke about how it is easy for disease to spread so quickly when it gets a good environment. All right? So you might be a good person, all right? But maybe the bad character, it's easy for a bad character to, change than a good one. So it's just like as this building is, it's easy for all of us today when we are given hammer to just break the walls. But when we are asked to erect it, it's going to be a big of a deal. So the same thing. It's easy for a corrupted person to spoil someone who is good. So we need to be very careful. Don't say, I trust myself. As long as you know that person has a bad character, you don't. Let's be honest here. We are not talking about go and talk about that person and tarnish the person's image. But you as a person knowing that particular character with that person, stay away from him. Okay? If you can help from far, do not get too close because he can corrupt you. All right? So it's very important to acknowledge that. كالجمر يوضع في الرماد فيخمد. So it's just like when you put fire, even the charcoal, when you put it in a coal, it just goes off. Even though there's fire, the coal will finish it. Okay, the ashes will finish it. So that's the point. It's just to say, no matter how strong you are, as long as you associate yourself with a bad person, possibility slowly you tend to follow that person. Okay, so it is very important, as it said, the Prophet ﷺ said, كل مولود يولد على فطرة الإسلام. Every person is born on the fitra. When we say fitra, most often they describe this as every person is born as a Muslim. But in reality, it's just saying everybody is born with the good conscience of acknowledging their creator. Every person is born with a good conscience. All right? But then environment, and it's amazing, wallahi. We always say, if you grow up, as the hadith said, if you grow up with the Christian family, then you become Christian. Or if you grow up with the Jewish family, you become Jewish. It's not the case. Most cases, your parents are those who even start teaching you how to lie. Your parents are those who corrupt you. You'll be there. I know African families know this. The call came. They look at the person, they ask, who is on the phone? You say, it's your friend such and such. I don't want to talk to that person. And then when you give them, oh, how are you? They start, so you feel like, what's going on? The way they act is totally different when they get the phone. So just imagine if you are in this house. The way they talk about people, and when they meet those people, the way they act. So you can see two faces. So automatically as a child, you are being corrupted. So sometimes that is the reality. Yes, those sort of business.
Back home, these petty traders who sell to our sisters and our mothers, and they pay instrumentally. Sometimes these guys come randomly to take their money. The moment they see them, they say, go and tell them, we are not home. They are not home. They don't have money to pay. They send the kid. Yeah, they send the kid. Say we are not home.
Yeah, so they teach you to lie. You know, at the early stage, of course, a child is not good in lying. What will they say? She said I should say she's not home.
That's right.
That's innocence, huh? So these are the realities. So you can see that even in the Muslim home, a child is being corrupted.
Yes.
Because a child is born with full, that sort of conscience of believing in Allah naturally. So that is why we always say, don't teach the kids the religion. They come with it. Just guide that iman. Every child has pure iman. You as a parent is to guide that. But if you want to teach them, you are already corrupt. So what you're going to teach them will be corrupted. So it's always good when we're teaching kids. Sometimes that's why they said that the moment you have kids, you have to do what you don't like. Which is what? You always go with your comfort zone. But this is the time whereby you have to change because you want the kids to be better. And for them to be better, you have to be also better because you cannot be a liar. You cannot always, act in different ways. So it is very important. The Prophet ﷺ said, every child is born on the fitrah. Illa an abawayhi yuhawidanihi. If the parents are Jew, then the child grow up to be a Jew. Aw yunasiranihi. Or if they are Christians, then they make the child Christian. Aw yumajisanihi. Or if they are Majus or Magian, then they change the child. But in general, even with the house of a Muslim, a child can be corrupted by Muslim parents. So we need to be very careful the way we act. It's not a problem to put a child down to tell them the truth, even if they will not be happy. It's not a problem for you as a parent to tell your child, I am wrong, you are right. There's nothing wrong with that. Accept the fault that you are wrong. That will give the child the confidence tomorrow when they do something wrong to accept. But when they can see they are right, you are wrong and you persist, you insisted, just because you are the adult, then you are telling them that adults don't make mistake. So in all cases, you are putting poison in them, turning toxic in them. So we need to be very careful as Muslims to do the right thing. Apart from that, also there is a Pharisee writing here, which also spoke about things of that nature regarding what we just explained in the previous. So we don't want to go into that into detail, but it has been said, in kunta tabghi al-ilma min ahlihi aw shahidan yukhbiru an ghaib. So if you are to seek for knowledge, okay, from those who have the knowledge, or aw shahidan, or a person who has witnessed something, because the person has the information, yukhbiru an ghaib, to inform those that are not there. فَاعْتَبِرَ الْأَرْضَ بِأَسْمَائِهَا. Then you have to follow the appraisal of a country and how it is being promoted, or its reputation. وَاعْتَبِرْ صَاحِبْ بِصَاحِبْ. The same thing applies to whatever you do. Check a friend and its companion. You'll be able to identify. No one should tell you the person's character, but rather his companion will confirm that. So this is just the last part of seeking a companion, which is basically to seek a companion who is on the same page with you. Sometimes it sounds biased, like you always want to look for someone who is better so that you become better. What if that person thinks that you are not good enough? But it's not about you not being good enough. It's just about, even if someone does not know much, but then someone is persistent, trying their best, you can take them as a friend. But someone who is corrupted, you want to stay away from that, because they will corrupt you as well. Wallahu a'lam. So what do we have? If we have enough time, we take the... Okay. So we take the next chapter. Faslun fi ta'zim al-ilmi wa ahlihi. So this chapter is basically to talk about respecting knowledge and those with the knowledge. It's very important to look at that. Respecting knowledge and those with the knowledge. It's very important to look at that. Ilam, know anna taliba li ilmi la yanalu ilma, that a student of knowledge will not get a knowledge. Wala yantafa'u bihi illa bi ta'zimi ilmi wa ahlihi. A student of knowledge will not benefit, or will not get a knowledge, or will not benefit from a knowledge unless he respects the knowledge and those with the knowledge. You need to respect the people that have knowledge, which means that we respect the knowledge itself as a discipline, but we also respect the teachers who have the knowledge. It is very important to acknowledge them. وتعظيم الأستاذ والتوقيره, and also respecting the teacher and honoring him. It is very important. If you want the knowledge to be beneficial, you have to respect the knowledge, respect the teacher, and also what? Show some sort of honoring to the teacher. فَقَدْ قِيلَ, it's been said, مَا وَصَلَ مَنْ وَصَلَ إِلَّا بِالْحُرْمَةِ, a person who was able to attain knowledge and benefit from it did not get that except because of what? Respect that they gave the knowledge. وَمَا سَقَطَ مَنْ سَقَطَ إِلَّا بِتَرْكِ الْحُرْمَةِ, the same thing applies to the person who fails his goal, did not fail except because he neglected the respect of what he is seeking for. As it's been said, Al-Hurma khayrun min al-ta'a. Respect is more better than obedience. This is very important to look at this. It's a good saying to look at it from all aspects. Now let's take our mujtama, our lifestyle here. I don't know you. We always meet here. All right? I respect you because of whatever that we're doing, but I don't know anything about you. And something happened. That is so bitter. You know, I will not care the words that I'm going to use on you. Why? Because I don't know your value. I don't know your qima. So I only respect you. So I will say whatever rubbish. But if I know who you are, I know your importance, I know your background, I know where you're coming from, I know your qualities. Even if I don't respect you, whatever happened, I will try to what? I will keep some words away from you because of knowing who you are. But not knowing who you are doesn't matter. Whatever respect I give you, I can say whatever. And that is unfortunately what is happening in this society. You see, words, I love you, is a common thing in this society. And the same time, I hate you is also common. A person will just say, I love you, when they laugh about it, and then something happens in some few minutes, I hate you. Okay? But those who always have the consent of knowing the importance of a person and the person's lineage, the person's family, the person's, whatever status in the society, no matter what, even if they don't say I love you, they have some reservation, whatever happened, in terms of words that they use on that person. So it is very important. Al-Hurma khayrun min al-ta'a. So knowing a person's value is better than obedience to that person without knowing the person's value. All right? And that is all across the board. For instance, as we made mention earlier, children are being corrupted by parents. Just take back and look within our houses. Sometimes you are teaching the kids bad language. Just because you hate a political party, just you hate a particular leader. When you saw the person online or on TV, then you start using bad language. What are you teaching that kid? This is as simple as that. In your mind, you're just saying your own words, but the kids, they pick those things quicker. So the same thing applies to when you have a society or scenario or environment where whatever happened, you always try to look something good to talk about people. You see, those kids, they will always pick that. Okay? So it is very important, and as we said, know the value. Because, for instance, you don't need to be a friend to a person to respect the person. That's what we're talking about, hurma. Before anything at all, I look at you as a human being. That by itself has blocked what I should say. Why? This is one of Allah's creation. So that frees me. It protects me because I'm the one who is going to use the bad language. But that has protected me. No, because I started by looking at you as one of Allah's creation. So because of that, I won't say anything bad to what Allah has created. So that will be a protection for me not to get into committing sin. Because on the day of Qiyamah, a person will be brought with good deeds, but because they said bad things on others, Allah will take their good deeds and pay those people. So when I start my connection with every person, or even animals, I look at them, this is Allah's creation, and I don't have a right to say anything bad about them. That has protected me and protected them as well. So it is very important to know the value of everyone. Knowing the value of everyone is to start by saying, these are Allah's creation, no matter what. If a Muslim believes in Islam really, wallahi, that person will not insult any person on this earth. Because look at the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Are you imitating him? When did the Prophet ﷺ open his mouth and insulted? Even, there's no one hadith that you can say the Prophet ﷺ insulted this person. He does not. To the extent even animals that are being treated badly came to the Prophet and reported. When the Jew were making fun of the Prophet ﷺ, from far they say, Assalamu alaikum. They tried to make fun of him. His wife heard that and she said, no, this shouldn't be. She repeated, Wassalamu alaikum wa la'ana. He said to her, no, we Muslims don't do this. Straight away. He told his wife, we Muslims don't do this. It's not part of our character. A lady entered the house and she was short. And the wife looked at her and she started laughing like, oh, this how short lady. He said, woo, you've done a big thing. You need to fix this. That is his wife. He taught her. She's thinking it's just more or less trying to show, yes, the lady, yes. But what you did is wrong. If Muslims are to act like this, where will you get enemies? How? When you respect everybody. It's not a big deal when people don't respect you. You are nobody. But you see them as somebody because they are Allah's creation. It's up to them to fix their part. You have done your bit. It's not like they have to respect me. No, you don't need that. Allah has already given you what is more. Allah has given you Islam. When Umar entered Jerusalem, the companions were saying, Ya Umar, you are the leader of the Muslims. You need to dress up so that you show them izzah. You come and you appear and they say, wow. He said, why will I need that when Allah has given me more than everything? Islam that Allah has given me, isn't that enough? And when he entered with that being humble, the Jew were able to confirm, wallahi, everything about him is what we saw in our book. Imagine if we could have hide somewhere, give me some clothing, let me wear. They would just say, this is just an, imposter, But for him to even go, he has no idea what's going on. Going there as a humble person, they were able to confirm and say, this is exactly what we knew in our book. The person will come with 13 or 17 patches. That's exactly. He entered the city with mud on his foot. Exactly what happened. He did not plan that. He is just trying to be what a Muslim should be. So when we are following the deen, we should know the barriers and how far we go. Don't expect people to respect you. Then you get what? Those people have not even finished doing something for themselves, not talk about doing for you. It's Allah who does. Be happy with what Allah has given you. The guidance that Allah has given you is enough. So when we do that, we become the best of people. So it is very important, inshallah, in our next lesson, we will look at how we should take care of each other and also how to keep the respect to each other. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.